offer my time to our first speaker today, Billion Lee, who is a co-founder of Cofacts, and she actually does fact-checking works and has been doing so for the last 7 years. We will ask her to speak to us on fighting against disinformation and information operation via chatbot. Now, Ms. Lee, the time is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks to that number of distinguished fellows. I'm really happy to be here. Currently, actually, I'm in Chiang Mai. Today, I also enter another digital ride among Asia Pacific conference. So actually, we are talking about disinformation, human rights, and digital security. As you can see in this picture, that you say USA support that biological weapons, biological labs in Ukraine got caught, which is totally nonsense. Ukraine government has nothing to do with this kind of biological weapons, biological labs cooperation. However, Russian government trying to spread this disinformation among whole wide world, not only Russian-speaking world, English-speaking words, also Mandarin-speaking words. For example, there are also some other Chinese propaganda saying that the USA would like to destroy and invade Taiwan because they would like to get control like TSMC, also some really important infrastructure among Taiwan. And also something, disinformation saying that the US and Taiwan Public Health Protection Act will lead USA government controlling Taiwan and no longer giving Taiwan citizen democracy. Also, you can see this, it's called Stonehenge. Actually, it's also Chinese propaganda. They show that linear distance as 11 kilometers from Taiwan and China, and showing that China is destroying 19 and show that people's liberation army would like to reach Taiwan Strait along the coast. So actually, this kind of disinformation tried to frighten Taiwan's people to provoke their concern, provoke their fear. Also, you can see on that YouTube channel, some disinformation saying Ukraine uses illegal strategy to force teenager, like 16-year-old, 15-year-old child, under military service. So some teenager might get suicide. Actually, they also echo to this year, currently DPP government would like to longer that Taiwan is military service from 4 months to a year. And some disinformation are targeting DPP government saying that DPP would like to sacrifice our next generation, our kids, our grandkids, to sacrifice those teenagers from 15 to 18, give them the really unfair opportunity on the military service. Some disinformation are also that Taiwanese people targeting, they're saying that Xi Jinping would like to make Taiwanese, the KMT people, support KMT during the last local election, November 26th in 2022, for unification for Taiwan and China mainland. Some other Facebook posts saying they are trying to seek some key opinion leaders supporting Taiwan Strait unification. Actually, they are trying to make some propaganda video, audio, and some like Facebook posts, reels to attract Taiwanese younger generation to make them feel that it might be good to get unified with China. So you can see, actually, this slides came from last time when we were in Singapore. They also happened in Thailand, Myanmar, and Malaysia, quite this kind of the regional and Asia Pacific. People who usually they share false information. Actually, people say, oh, they are old people. I might add some comment. Actually, in Taiwan, not only elders sharing disinformation. We can talk about the younger generation, like teenagers, youths under 30. There's a little bit interesting work. So how about us? If you forward this information like this to the chatbot, you can add the chatbot as your contact on Facebook, Messenger or on Line platform. In Taiwan, over 90% of Taiwanese people use Line as a social platform. So actually, it's quite popular in Taiwan that disseminated disinformation on social media. And the chatbot will reply you with factual reports, and we will show you the references to persuade the users why we think this disinformation is inaccurate. Since that we started this project since 2016, so actually we collect quite a lot of disinformation, accurate information, and data from those disseminated social platform disinformation. Based on our observation, you can see that some title that mark in red. That means that right before the election day, we understand that next year the Taiwan will have our presidential election. Every 2 years, Taiwan will have an election. And you can see there is some peak on this diagram. Actually, right before the election, there's around that 40% increasing. These information are related to politics. And you can see that, so like 2016, it might be that the government would like to legalize gay marriage. So quite a lot of this information targeting homosexual people to persuade people not to support the referendum to support marriage equality. And you can see right before the 2020 election, so right 4 years ago, you can see the same as the presidential election, there is some increasing to shown on the chatbot usage, also on website usage. In Cofacts, we provide information both on chatbots and on website, so we can see something that more at red. You can see that is targeting the 40% of the politics. However, right before the election, maybe 2 months, 3 months, you can see that's 0% of political issue regarding disinformation. And also, 2020, we do have the anti-infiltration law. They can say that education, religion, like so far currently, people feel that not only Buddhist, Catholic, and Christian, and also occupation. This kind of exchange and network program between China and Taiwan. During that time, DPP government would like to pass some amendment, especially for Anti-Infiltration Act, because you can see in what happened in Hong Kong, what happened in Australia, and some other like Chinese group, Chinese immigrant community. There's a little bit issues among the infiltration. So how Cofacts works? We found it in 2016, and we found quite a lot of disinformation during that time. However, even though journalists, reporters would like to do factual reports already, but people cannot reach that. For example, my parents, they don't read a single factual report during that time. And my partner, Johnson, he found, what if we made it much more easier for people to reach disinformation factual report? So since he's an engineer, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning inside this program, and we would like to make fact check faster, sooner, and also being as accurate as possible. Once the users, they can add a chatbot as a chatbot contact. Then the chatbot, we would rely on the really large database. Currently is over around 100,000. Since user can forward this information to the chatbot will link to our API and also our database. So what does Cofacts do? We would like to devote ourselves to create an AI technology tool for defending disinformation. So far, we provide a multimedia factor. So that means not only text. Text is much more easiest way to do the factor. But we understand, like TikTok, like YouTube, like Rumble, during COVID-19 duration, you can see quite a lot of conspiracy theory. So we would like to make multimedia fact check can work on everyone's digital devices. Audio, images, and video can be fact checked on Cofacts. Also, we do have an AI categorization. You can see the innovation sector community. So as long as you receive this information, the AI chatbot that justify it as political issues, religion issues, environment issue, nuclear issue. Also, in this year, we also connect to ChatGPT as OpenAI to generate some media literacy training among distinguished disinformation. So that means as long as you forward this information and it's really latest, nobody have fact checked before, the chatbot will tell you, even though we haven't had fact check report yet, but we can tell you why you should be doubtful to this disinformation. And the chatbot will use ChatGPT to guide you to see some that keyword to be searched on and some that useful ways, useful strategy to see if that is accurate information or not. So far, our chatbot support for 5 languages: Mandarin, English, Thai, Korean, and Japanese. Actually, we understand that we upload all our source code on GitHub, and also Cofacts provide bilingual toolkit. We would like to help global partners, especially that those Asia Pacific or non-Asia Pacific partners, to launch a fact-check chatbot around the world, because we understand this information is not only an issue happening in Taiwan, it happens on everywhere. So whenever you receive this information, you can forward the chatbot, Cofacts chatbot, and you may get auto response from the chatbot. Also, then you can forward back to the source chat room when you have discussion with your friends, with your relative, or you can invite Cofacts chatbot inside your group chat. Then the chatbot will be inside your group as a friend, and you help you fact check itself. You can see every distinguished disinformation are quite new. So if that we receive a brand new disinformation, the chatbot will also use dialogue to ask for the users to report, to appeal the disinformation to chatbot and publicize this to the public and make it easier to be fact-checked. Disinformation might upload to Cofacts website. So you can see on Cofacts website, if each fact-checker can think that disinformation contains misinformation, accurate information, or personal opinion, then as long as they upload the factual report, the chatbot will reply the users, the audiences that this information is a false information, it's a false statement. And also on our website, we also record the trend. So you can see there's a blue line and a yellow line. The blue line means that by website, a page view, and the yellow line means the chatbot click view. So all the data might be downloaded on the CSV file type. And also we connect to Google Analytics. So for those journalists, reporters, think tanks, research institute, and students, they would like to conduct some important report regarding disinformation or information operation or cyber war. They can use our data to see what is the most popular disinformation and what is the most critical disinformation around the world. And also on our GitHub, you can see that our source code is under MIT license, and our database, our open data, our fact-check reports under ACC BY SI 4.0 licenses. Our open source project can help the global NGO and global partners to do something to make positive impact among fighting against combating disinformation campaign. For example, as what happened in Thailand, actually, I just met Thai team yesterday in Chiang Mai. They fork our source code. That means that we contact their engineer. Their engineer use our source code and make it available in Thailand as well. So that means I don't need to be the supervisor. I don't need to manage what Thailand team would like to do. But in Thailand, they can use our source code, make it a really fast and convenient way, easiest way to launch their Cofacts fact-check chatbot in Thailand. So actually, it can be available around the world, like in USA, in France, in Indonesia. 2017, when we were in Singapore, Indonesia team also Mavindo, they also listened to our slide, listened to our presentation. Then they would like to make a chatbot about Indonesia as well. So you can see our statistics analytics. The blue part is the website, and the green part means the chatbot. You can see the peak, you can see the popularity, you can see what is the most popular and important disinformation among that time. So right before the election, like information integrity, it might be quite important. This slide shows that we all understand disinformation never die. They're occurring again and again. So actually disinformation, false messages can reoccurring all the time. As long as we record some disinformation in the past, in the future, we might still see the trend and the click and disseminating, and those malicious users, malicious disinformation generator would like to largely disseminate it on social platform. So far, Cofacts user toolkit in 2017, we translated everything from Mandarin to English. So they also make that Thailand team can use our source code because they can understand the English part. And we share our fact checker, chatbot user documentation, also our design thinking, why we need to innovate some feature, why we don't do something. We record everything in our weekly meeting note. We upload every as detailed as possible on our share notes like Google Notes, Google Doc, and HackMD to establish our toolkit to share to the world. So far, Cofacts, since it is open source, we share quite a lot of this kind of presentation and our idea and our source code to the world. In Japan, in Korea, in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Africa, Tunisia, Britain, Canada, USA. The week next week, I'll get to Costa Rica, also another digital right conference. We understand disinformation is a whole wide world problem. And if that is possible, we hope that global partners and all these kind of civic community can work together, can do collaboration. We share everything. We would like to make it open source. We would like to use our transparency to rebuild our trust among people, among the public, also among civics, among different kind of religion, different kind of groups, different kind of nations, gender, and race. Oh. It is my last slide. Echo to my former presentation. Former slides that quite a lot elders for this information. Actually, recently, I got a request. What's our opinion about TikTok, YouTube, and those that Instagram, Reels? For my opinion, some research show they say, based on the research, few students use TikTok. Does that mean that fewer negative impact among younger generation because not that much people, not that much youth, not that much teenager use TikTok as a social platform? From my side, I would say teenagers not done. They might not tell the truth because that it's just like a third party issues. If we ask, do you feel that you got influenced by this information? Most people might say, no, I don't think I got influenced by this information because I'm clever enough. However, if you ask, do you think that your friends, your relatives got influenced by this information? People might say, yes, my parents got influenced by this information. My grandparents, my friends, they all trust this information. So we call it third-party issue. Actually, quite a lot of teenagers use TikTok. For me, I lead over 50%. Taiwanese teenager, US teenager might use TikTok quite frequently to watch that's their social way, that's their social network way to talk to their friend. So actually, since we cannot really get rid of these kind of new media, new platform, what we're trying to do is to do some support among education. For example, I talk to a lot of the different groups, different teenagers. I also get to school, middle school, senior high school, and a community college. So talk about this information, to talk about media literacy. Since Taiwan is at the front line, that the potential war between China and Taiwan, we think for the self-defense, people need to understand what we could do, what we're trying to do, and what we could do for collaboration. So far, we would say, do the fact check first. Second, having enough that education for media literacy, digital literacy, also digital security. We understand that personal security can be really critical among the digital world. The third is to do collaboration, is to do transparency, to let people know more about what other people are thinking, to let transparency rebuild the trust. Actually, we are facing the problem that less and less people trust each other. And so far, we understand since that, well, we are religion people. So we think there's something for justice, there's something for truth, there's something for really we can rely on, something that's really important to lead us to a world much more peaceful, much more important, and much more be helpful. Thank you.